Master self-control. 7. Stoic secrets to staying calm in any situation. I want to start this by asking you something important. How often do you find yourself losing control? Whether it's your temper, your patience, or your focus. We all have moments where things just seem to spiral out of control. Maybe it's an argument with a friend, an impossible deadline at work, or a million little annoyances that build up and push you to your breaking point. It's frustrating, right? But what if I told you that there's a way to stay calm, no matter what life throws your way? Here's the kicker. This isn't about some magical trick or a way to suppress your feelings. This is about real, practical tools that have been used for thousands of years to build emotional resilience. These tools come from one of the most powerful philosophies ever created, Stoicism. Now, before you click away thinking this is going to be some dry, ancient stuff that has nothing to do with your modern life, hear me out. Stoicism isn't some dusty, outdated philosophy. In fact, it's more relevant now than ever. The Stoics, people like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, were masters at staying calm in the face of adversity. They knew how to remain steady even when the world was on fire around them. And guess what? You can do the same. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with stress. From social media drama to work deadlines to global crises, it feels like we're always under pressure. But here's the good news. We don't have to let that pressure control us. We can choose how we respond to it. That's what Stoicism teaches us. So, in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 Stoic secrets that will help you master self-control and stay calm, no matter the situation. These aren't just theoretical ideas. These are tools that you can start using right now. They've been used for centuries to build unshakable peace of mind, and I believe they can do the same for you. But first, let's get something clear. This isn't about being perfect. This isn't about never getting frustrated or upset. It's about knowing how to regain control when things get tough. It's about learning to handle whatever life throws at you with strength, clarity, and calm. So if you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and want to take control of your emotions, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a roadmap to master self-control and stay grounded, no matter what life throws your way. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Part 1. Focus on what you can control. All right, let's kick things off with one of the most foundational concepts in Stoicism. Focus on what you can control. I want you to think about the last time you felt really stressed or frustrated. Maybe it was a heated argument, maybe it was a work deadline looming over you, or maybe it was something completely out of your control, like an unexpected change in plans. Whatever it was, chances are you felt out of control. Now, here's the Stoic truth that will change how you handle moments like that. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the key. Your response is where your power lies. Think about it. How many times have you wasted energy getting upset over things you have no control over? We've all been there. Maybe you've been stuck in traffic, or someone at work dropped the ball on a project you're relying on. It's so easy to spiral when these things happen because we want to control everything. But here's the truth that changed everything for me. You can't, and that's okay. So, here's how you apply this to your life. When something happens that you can't control, don't react immediately. Pause and ask yourself, what can I control here? For example, let's say your boss gives you last-minute feedback on a project that's due tomorrow. You could let frustration take over, start complaining, stressing out, maybe even procrastinating. Or you could shift your focus. Instead of reacting to the chaos of the situation, you ask, how can I respond constructively? How can I control my effort and mindset here? When you start focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and choices, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You regain your power, and you can take action in a way that moves you forward, no matter what's going on around you. Takeaway. Remember this. You can't control the situation, but you can control how you respond. Start practicing this mindset shift today. When you find yourself in a stressful situation, pause and ask, what can I control here? Your power is in your response, not in the external event itself. Part 2. Practice negative visualization. Okay, let's move on to something that might sound a little strange at first. Negative visualization. I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would I want to imagine the worst-case scenario? Isn't that just going to make things worse? Well, hear me out. Negative visualization is actually one of the most powerful tools in Stoicism, and here's why. It teaches you to prepare emotionally for the things you fear most. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But let me explain. The Stoics, especially Seneca, believed that we often live with constant anxiety about what might happen. We're afraid of losing our job, our health, our loved ones. There's always this nagging fear in the back of our minds. But what if you could face those fears head-on in a controlled way, so they no longer have a grip on you? Negative visualization is the practice of imagining those worst-case scenarios. Picture it. You lose your job, or you get into an argument with someone you care about, or you get sick. But instead of freaking out about it, you calmly assess the situation. You ask yourself, what would I do if this happens? Here's the twist. By thinking about these negative outcomes in advance, you rob them of their power. You realize that no matter what happens, you will survive. And often, the fear of these scenarios is much worse than the actual reality. This isn't about being negative or morbid. It's about building resilience. It's about looking at life's challenges with a clear head and knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. Here's how you can practice it. Start small. Pick something that you're anxious about. Maybe it's a work presentation or a difficult conversation with a friend. Imagine the worst possible outcome. What if you fail? What if they get upset? Now, instead of panicking, ask yourself, what would I do if that happens? How could I handle it with grace and dignity? You'll start to realize that, even if the worst happens, you'll be okay. You'll find a way to cope. Seneca, in his letters, even went so far as to recommend that we occasionally practice poverty, living for a day with the bare essentials, to help us realize how little we actually need to be content. By mentally preparing for worst-case scenarios, we become emotionally stronger and more grateful for what we have. Takeaway. Negative visualization isn't about being pessimistic. It's about preparing yourself for life's inevitable challenges. When you do this, you gain emotional freedom because you're no longer controlled by fear of the unknown. Instead, you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. So, what's the big idea? Both of these Stoic practices, focusing on what you can control and practicing negative visualization, are about reclaiming your inner peace and emotional resilience. By learning to focus on your response to challenges and preparing yourself for the worst, you can face life with greater calm, clarity, and strength. I'm sure you've had moments where things felt like they were spiraling out of control, but what if, instead of reacting impulsively, you could step back, take a breath, and choose a measured response? What if you could prepare your mind for life's challenges so they no longer have the power to shake you? That's the power of Stoicism. Stay with me. Next, we're going to dive into the next Stoic secret: how to take control of your impressions and thoughts. You won't want to miss this. It's a game changer. Part 3. Control your impressions. Now, let's dive into something that, when mastered, can seriously change your life: controlling your impressions. Here's a hard truth. Most of the stress we experience isn't caused by the things happening around us, but by the way we perceive them. Think about it. You get an email that's written in a way you don't like. Maybe it's critical, or maybe it's just cold and impersonal. Your immediate reaction? You feel hurt, defensive, maybe even angry. You start to spiral, thinking about how unfair it is, how this is a personal attack, or how this person doesn't appreciate you. But what if I told you that none of that had to be true? What if the email is just an email, and your perception of it is what's creating the stress? Epictetus, one of the core Stoic philosophers, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And he's absolutely right. The problem isn't the email, the traffic jam, or the rude comment. The problem is how we interpret those things. Here's the trick. You get to choose how you interpret your experiences. Your first reaction to something may be automatic, but once you become aware of it, you can train yourself to challenge that initial response. Here's how to start. Pause before you react. When you feel that wave of anger, frustration, or disappointment coming on, take a deep breath. Stop. Reflect. Ask yourself, what's really happening here? Instead of jumping to conclusions, try to objectively look at the situation. Is the email truly an attack, or is it just feedback? Is the person really rude, or are they just stressed out and having a bad day? Reframe your thoughts. This is where the magic happens. Once you've created a bit of space, you can reframe your interpretation. What if this criticism is actually an opportunity for growth? What if this traffic is giving me a chance to listen to that podcast I've been meaning to catch up on? The key here is that your reaction is yours to control. When you change the way you perceive things, you start to feel more at peace because you stop letting external events dictate your emotions. Takeaway. The next time you feel stressed or upset, remember that your impressions of the situation aren't the full truth. You get to control your emotional response. By reframing your initial reaction, you regain control and create a more peaceful mental space. Part 4. Practice mindfulness and presence. All right, this next Stoic secret is a game changer, especially in today's fast-paced, distraction-heavy world. Practice mindfulness and presence. How often do you catch yourself thinking about the past or worrying about the future? It's exhausting, right? We get caught up in the what-ifs. What if I mess up this presentation? What if I don't have enough time to finish everything? And before we know it, we're not even in the moment anymore. The Stoics were keenly aware of the power of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, who was juggling the responsibilities of being emperor and dealing with massive challenges, often wrote in his journals about staying grounded in the now. He would remind himself that life is fleeting, and the only moment that truly matters is the present one. Here's the thing. The present moment is all we really have. You can't change the past, and the future is unpredictable. But the present? That's where your power lies. When you focus on the present, you stop wasting energy on things you can't control, and you stop living in a state of anxiety about what's to come. So, how do you apply this? Stop multitasking. Multitasking is a trap. It pulls your attention in so many directions that you end up doing everything poorly and nothing fully. Instead, try focusing on one task at a time. When you're at work, focus solely on your work. When you're with friends or family, put your phone away and focus on the conversation. Be fully present in whatever you're doing. Use mindfulness cues. Throughout your day, set small reminders to bring your focus back to the present. This could be a quick breathing exercise, a pause to notice your surroundings, or simply taking a moment to check in with yourself and your feelings. Meditation or breath work. Stoics didn't have meditation in the same way we do, but they did practice techniques to ground themselves in the present. Try starting your day with 5 to 10 minutes of mindfulness meditation. Focus on your breath, let your thoughts come and go without attachment, and practice being here now. You'd be amazed at how much mental clarity and peace comes from just a few minutes of intentional presence. When you're mindful, you realize that all that future worry and past regret are just mental noise. The present moment is where your peace is. Takeaway: mindfulness isn't some lofty ideal. It's a practical tool for emotional stability. By practicing presence, you stop living in the chaos of your thoughts and start experiencing the calm that comes with just being here, right now. Try it. See how focusing on the present transforms your day. So what do we do with all this? Both of these Stoic principles, controlling your impressions and practicing mindfulness are about gaining mastery over your inner world. It's about stopping the spiral of overreaction and worry and learning to stay grounded, calm, and centered. When you realize that you have the power to control your thoughts and your focus, you start living with more emotional freedom. You stop letting life's external circumstances dictate your internal peace. Remember, Stoicism isn't about denying emotions. It's about redirecting them, controlling how we respond, and choosing peace over chaos. If you're ready to take this to the next level, stick with me. In the next section, we'll dive into how to embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth. Because, believe it or not, life's challenges can actually make you stronger. Don't miss it. Part 5. Embrace adversity as opportunity. Now let's talk about something that might seem counterintuitive at first. Embracing adversity as opportunity. I know. When we think of adversity, we usually think of struggle, discomfort, and pain. It's human nature to avoid difficult situations whenever we can, right? But here's where Stoicism flips that script completely. The Stoics didn't see challenges as obstacles. They saw them as opportunities to grow and build character. In fact, Seneca said it best. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Think about it. When you lift weights, you're tearing muscle fibers so they can rebuild stronger. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, but in the end, it's what makes you stronger. In the same way, adversity can strengthen your character, your resilience, and your ability to deal with whatever life throws at you. When things don't go your way, when challenges arise, instead of looking at them as a setback, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me better? Here's how to make this principle work for you. Reframe the situation. The next time you face a tough situation, try this. Instead of focusing on how unfair or difficult it is, ask yourself, what's the lesson here? Maybe it's about patience, humility, or perseverance. By seeing challenges as opportunities for growth, you can turn even the most frustrating situations into chances to develop your inner strength. Seek growth in pain. I'm not saying you should go looking for pain, but when hardship inevitably comes, choose to view it as a test, a chance to show yourself what you're made of. Maybe you've lost a job, gone through a breakup, or had to deal with a difficult person. Rather than wallowing in negativity, ask, how can I come out of this stronger? Use obstacles to refine your character. Stoics believe that character is built through adversity. Every time you face a challenge, you have an opportunity to practice your virtues: patience, kindness, discipline, and wisdom. Instead of letting life's difficulties break you down, let them build you up. I've had my share of difficult situations in life, and looking back, I can see how each of them taught me something valuable. Whether it was learning to stay calm under pressure, being more mindful of my reactions, or gaining a deeper sense of gratitude for the good things I already had. Takeaway: the next time life throws you a curveball, remember, it's not about avoiding adversity, it's about using it to grow. Embrace the struggle, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Part 6. Cultivate inner independence. Now, let's dive into one of the most powerful Stoic principles: cultivating inner independence. This is huge. In a world that constantly bombards us with expectations, whether from society, family, or peers, it's easy to start defining our worth by external approval. We seek validation from others, chasing after praise or fearing criticism. But here's the hard truth. If you rely on external validation to determine your sense of self-worth, you're setting yourself up for stress and frustration. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus, in particular, taught that we should be free from dependence on external things for our happiness and peace of mind. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And a big part of that reaction is realizing that your inner peace and sense of self-worth must come from within, not from what others think or say about you. So, how do you cultivate that kind of inner independence? Here are a few Stoic practices that can help. Detach from external opinions. One of the first steps to inner independence is realizing that other people's opinions don't define you. If you've ever felt crushed by criticism or overly elated by praise, you know how much power others can have over your emotional state. But here's the key. You are not what others think of you. Your self-worth comes from within, not from someone else's approval. Practice reminding yourself of this every day. Trust yourself. When you become dependent on external validation, you stop trusting your own judgment. Instead of constantly seeking reassurance from others, start trusting your own inner wisdom. Ask yourself, what do I truly believe? What do I want? By developing self-reliance, you stop living in a way that's controlled by others' opinions or expectations. You learn to make decisions based on your own values and sense of purpose. Embrace self-sufficiency. Epictetus would tell you to focus on becoming self-sufficient, not just in terms of material things, but emotionally too. This means learning to regulate your own emotions, finding contentment within yourself, and not relying on external circumstances for your happiness. The more you practice emotional self-sufficiency, the less vulnerable you become to external fluctuations. I've personally found that as I've let go of the need for external validation, I've become more resilient. I still care about the opinions of the people I trust, of course, but I no longer let the fear of judgment or the desire for approval drive my decisions. The more I lean into this inner independence, the more at peace I feel. Takeaway: true peace comes from within. Start today by practicing detachment from external approval. Trust yourself. Lean into your own inner wisdom, and remember, your self-worth is not dependent on what others think. It's rooted in who you are and how you live in alignment with your own values. What does this all mean? Both of these Stoic practices, embracing adversity as opportunity and cultivating inner independence, are about building resilience and emotional strength. They help you break free from the cycles of frustration, self-doubt, and stress that come when we let external factors control us. When you learn to face life's challenges with a mindset that sees obstacles as growth opportunities, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. Instead, you become an active participant in your own growth. And when you cultivate inner independence, you stop depending on the outside world to validate your sense of self-worth. You build an emotional foundation that's strong enough to withstand anything life throws your way. If you're ready to take this even further, in the next section, we'll explore the power of daily reflection, how taking just a few moments each day to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and behaviors can accelerate your growth and mastery of self-control. Stay tuned. It's coming up next. Part 7. Reflect daily to build lasting change. All right, we've covered a lot of ground so far. You've learned how to focus on what you can control, practice negative visualization, control your impressions, embrace mindfulness, face adversity with courage, and cultivate inner independence. These are all game-changing principles. But here's the secret that ties everything together: daily reflection. If there's one thing the Stoics were really committed to, it was the power of reflection. In fact, Marcus Aurelius himself wrote in his Meditations that he would reflect each day on his actions and thoughts, asking himself questions like, did I act with virtue today? Did I stay true to my principles? What could I have done better? It sounds simple, but this practice of looking back on your day with intention is incredibly powerful. It's a way to check in with yourself, to hold yourself accountable, and to keep yourself on track. Reflection is the final step in developing self-control because it allows you to learn from each day, make adjustments, and keep improving. Here's why daily reflection works so well. It increases self-awareness. The more you reflect on your actions, the more aware you become of your habits, tendencies, and emotional triggers. This awareness is essential because awareness is the first step to change. If you're not aware of how you react to stress, frustration, or temptation, you'll continue to repeat those patterns. But when you take the time to reflect, you can recognize where you need to make adjustments. It encourages continuous growth. Stoicism isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new about yourself. By reflecting on your actions and thoughts, you can identify areas where you've succeeded in staying calm and areas where you might have slipped up. And with that awareness, you can make small improvements every day. Over time, those small improvements add up to massive growth. It reinforces your Stoic principles. The more you reflect on the Stoic ideas you've been learning about, the more they become second nature. Reflection helps solidify the principles of Stoicism in your mind, making them easier to apply in future situations. For example, if you reflect on a stressful situation and realize you didn't react with the calm and control you wanted, that insight helps you approach similar situations differently next time. Here's how you can incorporate daily reflection into your life. Set aside time. Each evening. The key to making reflection a habit is to set aside a specific time each day to do it. It doesn't have to be long, just 10-15 minutes at the end of the day. Find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted, and allow yourself the time to look back on your day. Ask the right questions. To make your reflection powerful, ask yourself the following questions. What went well today? What did I do that I'm proud of? Where did I lose control and why? What triggered my emotions? How did I respond to challenges or setbacks? Could I have responded differently? Did I live according to my values today? Where can I improve tomorrow? Write it down. You don't have to write a full journal entry, but jotting down a few key insights can help solidify your thoughts and reinforce your learning. It also gives you a record to look back on over time, so you can see how far you've come. Commit to improvement. The goal of daily reflection isn't to beat yourself up. It's to learn and grow. After reflecting on your day, commit to making one small change tomorrow. Maybe it's pausing before reacting in a stressful situation, or reminding yourself to focus on what you can control. Each small step adds up to lasting change. Takeaway: daily reflection is the secret weapon for mastering self-control. By taking the time each day to review your actions, thoughts, and responses, you increase your self-awareness, reinforce your Stoic principles, and continuously improve. Over time, this practice will help you develop emotional resilience and the ability to stay calm in any situation. Conclusion: bringing it all together. All right, we've come to the end of this journey, and I want to take a moment to reflect on what we've covered. Mastering self-control isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process, one where you commit to small but powerful changes in your mindset and actions every single day. And when you adopt the Stoic principles we've talked about, you'll find that not only do you develop the ability to stay calm in any situation, but you also cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and resilience. Let's briefly recap what we've learned together. Focus on what you can control. Stop wasting energy on things you can't change, and instead, channel your attention toward your thoughts and actions. Practice negative visualization. Prepare for the worst-case scenario, and in doing so, realize that you're more resilient than you think. Control your impressions. Train yourself to control how you perceive external events and choose peace over panic. Practice mindfulness and presence. The present moment is where all the power lies. Learn to be fully engaged in whatever you're doing. Embrace adversity as opportunity. Life's challenges are not obstacles, they are opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Cultivate inner independence. Don't seek validation from the outside world. Find strength within yourself and trust your own judgment. Reflect daily. The key to continuous growth is self-awareness. By reflecting each day, you gain valuable insights and make adjustments for improvement. Here's the thing. These Stoic secrets won't magically make you perfect, but with consistent practice, you'll notice a shift. You'll start responding to life's challenges with greater calm and clarity. You'll become less reactive, less easily overwhelmed, and more resilient in the face of adversity. The power of Stoicism lies not in its complexity, but in its simplicity. These principles are actionable, everyday tools that you can use to master your emotions and live a more peaceful, focused life. It's about small shifts that accumulate into lasting change. And remember, you're not in this alone. Every person who has walked this Stoic path has faced setbacks, doubts, and struggles along the way. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to grow and improve a little bit every day. So, be kind to yourself as you practice these principles. Be patient with your progress, and always keep moving forward, one day at a time. Final thought: the power to stay calm is within you. As you step into the world each day, armed with these Stoic secrets, always remember, the power to stay calm in any situation is already inside you. It's just a matter of bringing it to the surface day by day, thought by thought, action by action. You have the strength to face whatever comes your way with grace and composure. And if you stick to the Stoic path, focusing on what you can control, embracing adversity and reflecting daily, you will build a resilience that no one can take away from you. I'm confident that with practice, you'll not only stay calm, you'll thrive in ways you never thought possible. Thank you for watching, and thank you for investing this time in yourself. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on how to live a more fulfilling, grounded life. And remember, as you take these Stoic principles into your own life, you've got this. Stay calm, stay focused, and keep mastering yourself. See you in the next video.